welcome to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. This is the final show of 2021. We made it. We're going to 2022, and we're going to finish up the calendar year in a big way. We got a lot of high school football coming up on this show. A little bit later, we have the new head football coach for Redlands High School, Bob Stangel, former Faux High guy, taking over the Terriers. We'll also talk some football, some soccer with head coach Aram Najar from Citrus Hill. The Hawks made it to a CIF Southern Section Championship match last season. Can they get back and do it all over again? We'll have him on the show as well. But leading things off right now, he has been so gracious with his time, and we do appreciate it. He is the head football coach at Norco High School. It is Chuck Chastain joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. And Coach, before we dive in and talk Cougar football, that is a fantastic office. That is a fantastic hat. How are you doing right now? Because I think you're just loving life.
Yeah, it's good. Just enjoying the vacation. Just trying to spend time with the family. On a side note, real quick, today is my oldest daughter's 12th birthday, so happy birthday, McKenna. I know you're watching at home. We're just trying to, rejuvenate the batteries and get ready for another run here in the spring.
So when you say rejuvenate the batteries, Coach, here we are still technically in the calendar year of 2021. Are you already focused on what's coming up in the fall of 2022 in terms of, what guys do I have coming back? Who's on the schedule? What's our off-season, weightlifting programs going to look like? Are you already focused on what next season might look like for you guys?
Absolutely. Most of that stuff's already done. We already got the weight room ready to go. Max is done. Groups are labeled and ready to go, and we hit the ground running here in another week. We're still trying to find either a week 0 or a week 5 game. We need a home game. So, we're working on the schedule. And, really, it takes about a week or two to kind of process the season, get over the wins or losses. You think you need time off, and then, I don't know, maybe I'm like everybody else, but you have some downtime and all you can think about is football. It's that old mistress on the side. So we're anxious to get back at it and get going and kind of seeing how our younger players develop and getting ready to build for this upcoming year.
All right, so we're putting the bat signal up in the air for you guys. Week 0 or week 5, if you want to take on Norco, those are the games you're looking for, right, Coach?
Yeah, we need one or the other. We need a home game. We've had some people reach out. Problem is they either need home games or they need a different week. I guess it's pretty cliche, but we'll play anybody, except it won't be anywhere. It's got to be at Gary Campbell Field.
Well, Coach, speaking of the schedule for next year, man, I got wind of this. I think it was like May, like this past spring, but the Southwestern League and, of course, the Big 8 League coming together to form this football conference. From what I understand, it'll be 2 different leagues. And when you look at that top-tier league, yourself, I'm assuming Centennial, I'm assuming Vista Murrieta Valley. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but can you talk on behalf of what this new league's going to look like and just the caliber of competition you guys are going to see in those league games?
I think this conference concept is new. Everyone's kind of do like the rain cross deal. This is only going to apply to football. I think it's good. It's going to bring out the best league play that we can get. No knock on any other teams that have been in the leagues before, but it's really going to balance out the competition. It's going to give some of the other teams in our league a chance to win their league title and be more competitive. And it's going to give us, a more consistent pace of play throughout league. I think everyone benefits from it overall. Right now, it looks like the league's going to be us, Centennial, Roosevelt, Shap, Vista, and Murrieta Valley. And the bottom half, I believe, is Great Oak, Temecula, Mesa, King, Corona, and Santiago. So I think it's better for everybody. You get a lot of competition. We have crossover games as well. Our crossover games this year will be Santiago and Corona. I think you'll see us continue to play Corona for the rivalry of what that game means to the 2 communities, even though people don't really focus on that. It's more the Centennial game, but the Corona game is a pretty special game between the 2 communities. So overall, I think it's going to create a playoff atmosphere when you want it, when you need to be ready to go into the playoffs. And so we're excited for it. Scheduling is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt since we usually crossed over already playing a couple of those teams out there. So now we're going to have to replace those slots in the preseason. But we'll see how that goes. So excited for it. Really excited for good coaches, good competition. That's what you want.
Coach, that was my next question in terms of scheduling. You have your 5 league games, and then you have those 2 crossover games. So now technically you've got 3 spots to fill. But like you said, some of your non-league games, I don't know if it was Vista Murrieta or whoever, but some of those non-league games are now league games. So hence why you need to fill that week 0 or week 5. Is that all correct?
Yeah, so Vista and Merida Valley were on our schedule. Now they're part of our league. We still fill week 1 with Santa Margarita and week 2 with Ranch Cucamonga. Both those contracts will be up. So we need at least 1 game, and then whatever those 2 do or what happens next year, we'll figure that out. So it is better that we get the 7 games that you know who you're going to play. But now the other 3 are going to be tougher. Because some of those teams, like we said, we play are now in the league. So we'll find someone to play. This year just has to be a home game, or we'll travel. We'll go wherever we need to go play.
And, Coach, I've heard from multiple schools that they're calling it the Big West. Is that the unofficial name at this point, the Big West?
Yeah, they haven't polled any of us coaches at this point, but what I've been told by the administration is it's going to be the Big West. Southwest and then the Big 8 combined. So we even know we were the Big 6, but it's going to be the West. So it's a cool name. We got to figure out some things on league bylaws and colors of patches and all that small stuff later on. But if you look at the Inland Empire, without putting my foot in my mouth here, between the 2 schools out there, Merida Valley and Vista Merida, great programs, and us at Centennial, it's going to be a hell of a league between us 4 being there. I mean, that. You look at most people's rankings in this area, and that's 1 through 5 for the most part. So we're going to be battle tested and ready to go. So I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
No, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait for some of those matchups coming up this upcoming season. Coach, as we transition from talking about this Big 8, Big West to you just had signing day for a couple of your guys, and in terms of, I like to call them the triplets, the big 3, like quarterback, receiver, and running back. You had a big 3, and 2 of them I've already signed. I don't know about Elijah yet, but Jaden Ott going to Cal, Kyle Crum, your quarterback, going to San Diego State. I know you want to win games, you want to win championships. We see some of the hardware behind you in your office. But how good does it feel as a head coach when you see guys like Kyle and Jaden sign those scholarships to big-time programs?
It's a great feeling. The kids these days, with all the social media stuff you see and the constant tagging of things and so on, it puts pressure on them. They don't always show it, but it does. But it's just great to watch their fruits of their labor come to fruition and to get a chance to play. They're both going to be graduating early. Kyle, I think, is going to go do a heck of a job down at San Diego State. I think he's one of the best QBs in the state that people weren't really looking at or came on the scene late. The COVID season took a lot away from him. Jaden is going to be, he's a special guy. He's got a burst to him that not many people have. He can play both sides of the ball. Most people don't know he's actually a phenomenal defensive back as well. So he's got a large upside to him. We got some other guys that will hopefully sign in the next signing day. But we're really going to miss Kyle's leadership and what he was able to really be a coach in the locker room for us. So it's always sad to see him go, but I'm super proud of them and the way that they carried themselves. So yeah, the fact that we have 2 guys signed Division I and get the chance to go play at a high level, it speaks volumes of our program and what we're trying to do. So super proud of them, and it's a great feeling.
Coach, when you talk to these guys in terms of, all these colleges coming around and all the attention that they get and, the pressure of, who am I going to sign with and, just all those factors, do you tell them at some point, hey, let's just win football games? Winning will take care of a lot of different things. If you go out there, if you're winning, if we're winning as a team, that probably means you're putting up some pretty good numbers. Winning will take care of a lot of things. Like, what's kind of your message as they try to navigate this during a football season and out there trying to win games for Norco with all this other stuff going on the side?
Well, we talk about that in depth, actually, just about what the focus needs to be. And how if they're doing their job on the field, the offers are going to come, and you can't press it. It's going to happen. Just let it do its due process. But it is kind of tough, honestly. Like I said, with all the social media stuff, every time they turn on one, it's some kid, I got an offer here, offer there, and they go, well, I'm putting up these numbers and that. But at the end of the day, you just got to be honest with them and help them through the process and make sure their minds are ready to perform. And I say we don't really have a problem with them performing on the field. We do talk about it during the week and stuff, but we always joke around with, everyone wants the offers until you got 4 or 5 or 6, and then you feel that pressure, which is a whole other different animal, and deciding on what's the best fit for your family and you, and et cetera. But they're young kids, and so they need to be guided through that process. And it's modern day coaching, that's a big piece of it is helping these kids through this process, keeping them focused.
Well, Coach, if I can pivot towards actual football games again, and we were talking a little bit off the air about 34 straight seasons, which is an inland record, Norco going to the playoffs. And, going to the playoffs year after year after year, 34 consecutive, is a big deal. But, and it is something to be proud of. But you were saying, hey, those playoff appearances are great, but at Norco High School, we're in the business of trying to win championships. I mean, can you kind of talk more into that and what that means?
Yeah, well, we love the tradition. The city's super proud of it. I don't want to downplay it at all. I mean, 34 years straight in the playoffs for a school our size. I think people forget that we're barely 2,000 kids and we're the only high school in the city. And we're pretty limited on the growth of this town. There's no apartments in this town, et cetera. And our football program has done a phenomenal job. And I'm just happy to be a part of that legacy, not even as a head coach, as a player, a ball boy, et cetera. It's something to really be proud of. But, we're judged by winning championships. That's what the end goal is. And we have not been able to accomplish that yet under my tenure. It's obviously something we want to do. But we are proud that we kept the ship afloat and keeping it going. We feel like we have some good momentum right now. We were ranked top 8 in the state. We played in Division I. We gave Mater Dei a heck of a game there for a half, kind of got away from us the second half. But we feel we can play with anybody, and we just got to put together the pieces. And it's super proud of that building, and we want to keep that going. I mean, there is talk on no one wants to be the team that doesn't keep it going. That is clear. But that's not what we play for. It's a byproduct of our success, and we're proud of it. But we don't hang our hats on it. Actually, they make a shirt every year about the streak. I don't wear those shirts to practice. I don't wear those shirts to games, et cetera. Nothing. They're just put away in a box. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. But it is something to hang your hat on. And it's a good selling point for our program that we've been consistent. I think when most people think of Norco football, they think of consistency, and we're just trying to keep that concept going.
Hey, Coach, finally, my last question, and speaking of hang your hat on this, what's the story behind the hat that you're wearing right now? And maybe it was actually the year when the streak started. I don't know. I'm trying to do some quick math in my head. But what's the story behind the hat that you're wearing? Because it's fantastic.
I believe the streak started 80. It might be 82, 83 is the year. One of those years, 81 they were in. But this hat was my grandfather's hat, Lawson Latham, who coached with Gary Campbell for 20 plus years, started in the 80s. This is one of the old hats from like the 84, 85, 86 season. When my grandparents decided to retire and move to Utah when I was done playing here, this is one of the relics I picked up. I got a few of them. I don't wear it very often, but it just felt right today to wear it. So everyone's always thrilled when I see this hat. It's the old school trucker hat with the puffy front and everything. But this is a Gary Campbell mock-up, and I'm just lucky to have one. You can't find any of these ones. I don't know what it's worth, but you can't find many of these ones.
It's an amazing hat. When you popped on Zoom, it's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, that's a perfect hat. Coach, listen, I always appreciate the time. Thank you so much. I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and look forward to seeing what you guys can do in 2022.
Yeah, so do we. Thanks for having us, Pep. Happy New Year to you and your family, and love what you guys do for high school sports. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Coach. That is Chuck Chastain, head football coach for the Norco Cougars, joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk to the new head coach at Redlands High School, Bob Stangel. We'll have more when we come back on the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
Hey guys, it's Pep Fernandez from the #1 sports show in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. I wanted to let you know about the BASS School. That stands for the Boost Alternative School for Student Athletes. All of us are trying to find a way to get ahead in the classroom and in athletics. If you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wanting to give your son the best opportunity to succeed. BASS is an all-boys private middle school servicing 7th and 8th grade student athletes. They've got unique, customized curriculum for student athletes, individualized nutrition and athletic development, plus rigorous academic development with small class sizes. This is not an online homeschool. This is a private school for students who are serious about their grades and serious about their sports. Bass School enrollment for the 2021-2022 school year begins in January, so don't wait. Lock up your spot today. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for more information.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. A huge thanks to Chuck Chastain at Norco High School, talking about that new Big West Conference for football between the Southwestern League and the Big 8 League. And listen, I told you, we're going to go big on high school football to wrap up the 2021 calendar year here on the Inland Sports Show, at least. Now joining us, he is the new head football coach for the Redlands Terriers. Joining us is Bob Stangel. And Coach Stangel, first off, congrats on the gig with the Terriers. I know you've been a Redlands guy for a long, long time, but what's just your initial thoughts on taking over the program for the Terriers?
Well, we're all excited, to hit the ground running, putting a staff together, getting the kids back in the weight room. We're going to live in the weight room, and I think it's going to be good. I think there's a good crop of young guys, and like I said, an excellent staff, good administrative support. We have excellent facilities, so we're really excited.
Coach, I was kind of joking with you before we got on the air. I'm like, oh, are you at home? You're enjoying a nice, quiet, day with your family. You're like, no, I'm in the football office. You're already, getting ready for the year. What are some things that you can do right now that you can feel like the Terriers will be better when that first game rolls around in August?
I mean, just planning and preparing for the entire year, anticipating the dates and where we need to be and what's going on. I think communication is the key for everybody involved in the program, especially for the coaches and the players and their families, and everybody have an understanding of where we're going and the timeline, the time frame, and then we can make revisions along the way. But I'm a staunch believer in you have to prepare way in advance, and that goes back to when I played for Coach Brooke at Fontana. We had it all laid out. I was back in the 80s, and we knew exactly when we were going to be where and what we were going to do. And that helped me as a player and a coach, and I want to provide that for everybody involved in the program.
Well, Coach, that was the perfect segue to my next question because, whether you were, as a player or a coach, what are some of your coaching influences? You just mentioned Dick Bruick, Jim Walker. Who are some of the guys that you've just been around that has influenced the way that you want to run a football program?
I've been tremendously lucky. I played for Coach Bruick, who was probably the greatest coach in both counties. I mean, it was an incredible experience. I came from Notre Dame High School and played for Coach Bruick and had it was amazing. He taught me a lot. I was lucky enough to coach with my dad, Bob Stangel Sr. at Mount St. Seno. I was a graduate assistant for Coach Jim Fossil at the University of Utah. And when I got there, I realized I knew nothing about football. And then I've coached with Coach Ron Smedley at San Bernardino Valley College. He was amazing. He let me grow as a coach. He let me coach offense and defense, so that really helped me. Then I had a chance to coach with Mike Maynard at University of Redlands. And Mike Maynard is the consummate professional and does an amazing job with his program. But most of all, I've had the opportunity. I also coached with Bill Powell at St. Luciano, and we were really successful there because of Bill and the way he dealt with the kids and the program. and that was awesome. But I would have to say the most influential coach has been Jim Walker. Being on his staff and watching him spend every moment of the day trying to figure out how he could make it better for Redlands, the community, the high school, and the kids was just amazing. And I learned so much from Coach Walker. I'll never be a better coach than Jim Walker. But seeing him and all the different hats he put on and all the different roles he played was absolutely amazing. He is absolutely incredible football coach.
Coach, I don't want to leave anybody out, but you just blew me away. I mean, Jim Walker, Mike Maynard, Bill Powell. I mean, I don't want to leave, any names out, but you have been around some pretty heavy hitters in the coaching ranks in the Inland Empire.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I'm incredibly lucky. I tell you, I've learned a lot. And I was lucky enough to go in as a young guy playing in college. Like I said, when I went to Utah and realized I didn't know anything. And so I just kind of kept my mouth shut and listened, tried to learn as much as I could. And then those guys have been so good to me. Like Coach Smedley treated me like a son. Coach Walker's treated me like a son. Coach Powell was amazing. So I was very, very lucky to learn from those guys and be a part of their program. That's for sure.
Well, Coach, again, you've been around so many great coaches. I'm sure you've picked up things along the way and, implement it into the way you want to run a football team. I know Redlands wants a winner. Redlands wants to win. They have a long tradition, that long blue line. Maybe it's not an easy fix, but what are some things that you feel like you guys can do to maybe start turning things around to at least trend in that right direction for the Terriers?
Well, I don't know if we were going in the wrong direction. We played a lot of young guys last year, and it was coming off the COVID season. So there were a lot of obstacles, a lot of things that the previous staff, Coach McFarland, had to overcome, and he did a good job of that. Keeping it together and keeping us on the right course. We're going to live in the weight room. I learned that when I played at Fontana. We believed in that at Mount St. Seno and at Valley College. And everything that we do is going to stem from our development in the weight room. And that's where you acquire the commitment and the intensity and the expectations. So then when you go onto the field, they know what to expect. But, the first thing we got to do is we got to have a great winter off season. We got to get in the weight room. We got to get, bigger, and we got to get stronger like everybody wants to do. We got to get, we got to be able to move better. We got to get more flexible. So, we got to set up outline a plan to meet some goals that we're setting for the winter. But the winter is very, very important. You win and lose games from January to April. So we're going to do everything in the weight room. We're going to live in the weight room. And, hopefully we can find out what we have there.
Coach, you touched on it, and I want to circle back to it just real quick. You did have some young guys, including freshmen, getting a lot of snaps at important positions, quarterback, running back. Are you excited at least what looks like, Terrier football might look like on the horizon at least, like what's coming up?
Yeah, I am. It's always good to have young talent. People got to realize, as coaches, you got to see the big picture. You got to see down the road. We played a lot of freshmen on offense, and we knew that, we're going to struggle a little bit, but we knew that the payoff was going to be big in the end. They made tremendous strides. They grew a lot. Defensively, we had a really, really good defensive team last year. The coaches did an amazing job, and players played well. We just, couldn't get it done offensively. We're hoping to get better. We have Coach Kevin Haw, who is back. He's been a staple in this program for a long time, and he's going to coach the offensive line along with Ruben Vasquez. We have Miguel Olmedo coming back to coach the defense, and people are very, very excited about Coach Haw and Coach Olmedo coming back. My dad used to always say, success in a program is based on the continuity of the coaching staff, and those guys are proven. They've been very, very successful, and everybody associated with this program is very lucky to have them back. But yes, the young guys played well last year. Julian Scarborough, DJ Littles, who else? We had a freshman tailback, the freshman linebacker. He played defense, obviously. But yeah, those two skill guys are tremendous athletes and going to be great players for us down the road. Absolutely.
Well, that's exciting that the some optimism in the program, going forward to some great young players who saw, trial by fire, who saw a lot of playing time, this past season. Coach, I also wanted to ask you, listen, you were the varsity girls basketball coach, and now your daughter's going to slide in and take into the role as the head coach, and you'll assist, but here you are trying to navigate through a basketball season while also, trying to get your football team ready. Is it just kind of a chaotic time a little bit?
Not really, because, I took over like 4 or 5 years ago, and the first thing we wanted to do is establish a program, a consistent structured program for girls basketball. I know people who know me know that my mom was a varsity girls basketball coach for like 25 years at Sherman Indian. They're very successful. So, and my dad obviously was head football coach at Mount St. Sentinel. So we'd go from football to basketball. So that transition has always been kind of easy. I played basketball. My sister played basketball. Of course, I played football. But no, my daughter and I have built a program here at Redlands. We have not been as successful win-loss wise, but we have a set program, a structured program. And she's able to step in and take that lead role. We're kind of switching. I'm still assisting her, and she's just kind of taking the lead role. But yeah, I think it's good, and we're doing well this year, so it's going to be good.
Coach, is there anyone in your family who's not a coach? Your parents, your daughter, yourself. It sounds like if you're born into the family, you're going to be a coach at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't think of it. But I don't know, my son doesn't coach. My son was a great player, but he's not coaching right now.
Well, Coach Stangel, listen, I appreciate your time so much. Best of luck this upcoming season, and I do appreciate the time. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for having us, and we're looking forward to the 22 season, and be on the lookout for the Terriers for sure.
Always do. That is Bob Stangel, the new head football coach for the Redlands Terriers here on the Inland Sports Show. We do appreciate it, Coach. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back here on the show, we'll talk a little soccer with the head coach at Citrus Hill, Aram Najar, when we come back.
96.7 KCal Rocks. What's up? It's Patrick and 40.
Hey, man, you're watching the Inland Sports Show right here.
Make sure you check out Pep, man. It's Inland Sports with Pep, but he's on every Monday and Thursday morning with Sports with Pep, man.
You guys rock.
What up, y'all? Boostman here. Gonna break you off with a quick 2 cent. Parents, here are 3 reasons why you need to enroll your athlete into a strength conditioning program as the new year approaches. 1, to relieve them of all the repetitive motions of their sport. 2, to become bigger, stronger, and faster and a better overall athlete. And 3, to develop a relentless work ethic.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, We have customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time. And then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody, here live and amplified at Teen Vision TV 16. Big thanks to our director, Johnny Nunez. Now, we've been talking football quite a bit here on the show, but it's also soccer season. I know it's tournament time. League play is right around the corner in 2022. And I know this guy has big goals for his team this year after going to a CIF Southern Section Championship match this past season. It's Coach Najar at Citrus Hill. And Coach, listen, I know you guys, the Hawks were in the San G shootout, and we just got pounded by rain the last week or so. So the conclusion of that tournament was washed away. So what does this week look like for you? Are you just, what are you binging on Netflix? Like, what are you doing this week, Coach?
Oh, man, I'm just enjoying the time off right now. And I'm hoping the boys are enjoying their time off as well. I gave them a couple days off just to kind of, get their legs back together. And we've been struggling with some injury issues and just trying to have a full squad going into league play next week. And we're excited about that.
Yeah, league play is right around the corner. I was talking to our director, Johnny Nunez, about, soccer season begins like when football season's ending. So sometimes I kind of lose track when the seasons cross over. And then before you know it, before you turn your attention to soccer, it's like it's already league play. Like we get through the holidays and boom, league play starts. Coach, what have you liked about your team through non-league action and some of these preseason tournaments? What do you like about these guys that gets you excited about the league and also about a playoff run again?
Man, well, this year coming in, I had a lot of questions just because of last year. We had a really good season last year, and that hangover of how we're going to respond to that. And we had a lot of new young guys come in, and honestly, the way they came and just played together and their hunger, and we were so close to winning that championship last year, and them just believing in it on each other and just playing together as a team and just playing the right way it's really fun to watch as a coach, and hopefully we could have better results this year.
You went to the Division V championship match. You fell to Baldwin Park in a shootout. Coach, do you think about that match? Do you second guess maybe some of your decisions in the game? I mean, I hate to do it. I do it myself on a lot of things. I mean, as a coach, do you kind of reflect back on those big moments like that?
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. I actually do a lot, actually. I mean, it was my first, as a head coach, it was my first big match, you could say, the one of the biggest. And we had that game in our bag, and just the last 5 minutes of the game, they scored one late. And as a coach, after that game, you reflect and you ask yourself what you could have done differently. And obviously, you just all these scenarios that you could have brought up. But I mean, it's just part of the game, and you just learn from it as a coach, as a coaching staff, and we just move forward. You gotta. And since the season was in the spring, there was not much time to kind of just kind of be sad about it. You had to move forward pretty quickly, and we just gave the boys a couple weeks off, and we were back right to it, in the summer program, and right. This was my actual first summer workout as a head coach, because of the first year I got it was kind of late, so it was right to get back to work. So I do think about it, and you just learn from it. That's just what you got to do.
Coach, you mentioned you've got a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys in the program right now, but how many guys from last year's team that went to the championship finals, how many of those guys are back, and you kind of lean on maybe some of those core guys who helped you get to that championship game last year?
I want to say I did graduate a lot of seniors last year, but I do have like around 4 or 5 in my core that came back from that starting group. And they're hungry, man. They're the ones that tasted and they want it so bad. And the new guys, the young guys coming in are getting their vibe, are just kind of tagging along, and they could feel it, and us coaches, we just try to let them know that, we try not to get ahead of ourselves a lot too. I kind of cut the seasons into 3 parts, the non-league, the league, and then the season, and then the playoffs, and I try to kind of keep them game by game, and that's tough, as a coach, it's tough to do that. But I have 5 guys coming back, and they want it bad. But I mean, we got to focus on league. We got to take care of business there, and then when CIF comes, we'll worry about that one.
Now, Coach, your non-league record, I have it in front of me if this is correct, 10-1-2, right, to start the season in non-league action, which is a great record, but do you find it more valuable that your team is learning, or maybe, I hate to use the cliche, but gelling together? Is it more important that they're continuing to improve and get better more so than maybe the wins and losses before you get to league and before you get to playoffs?
Yeah, right now, actually, Pep, it's been tough to kind of be gelling a lot. We've been kind of starting different lineups just because of it. We've been having a lot of injuries lately. So I think what's been helping us is winning those close, ugly games, you could say, and that's what's making us stronger. And especially in those close games in the playoffs, in the beginning of the season, we were pretty full. We were intact, and we felt really good, especially in our tournament that we hosted. We played Valley View in the semifinal. Valley View is a great team, great program, and we stood right there with them. We were up the whole game. Well, not the whole game. We were down 1-0. We came back 2-1, and they scored late. We lost in shootouts, but I mean, after that, we kind of just, those injuries hit us, and I'm scraping those ugly wins. I think that's what's been helping us the most. Hopefully in league play, we next week we come back full and ready to go, and I think we'll be fine. I think we'll gel. We'll be ready, and hopefully we'll be good in league.
Well, maybe it's good that you're adding depth to the team, I guess, if these guys are stepping in for some of the injured players and getting some good quality minutes on the field. And then at the same time, as a head coach, you're probably thinking, well, the best is still to come. Like, once we get healthy, once these guys get more playing time together, like, hey, we're going to be set if we can just stay healthy, right? Is that kind of what you're thinking at this point?
Oh, 100%. And I always tell the guys, almost every game before the game, I always tell, hey, next man up, because there's just some injury or something that happens that the next man up has to be ready. And man, all the guys have been ready to go, and they've been performing, and they've been doing their assignments and taking care of business. So that's as a coaching staff, that's awesome to see. It's good for us, especially when we make a deep run at it. Well, hopefully we'll make a deep run at it. We could look at our bench and be like, oh, he's been there before. We know he could do it. Let's use him, So as a coach, that's a good feeling, and we have 25 guys that they've been getting minutes and they've been performing, and that's good for us, especially in the long run. It's a long season, so it's definitely a good thing.
Well, Coach, what I wanted to ask you next was, because we're just getting, poured on, these wet winter Southern California storms are just hitting us so hard. But, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, my high school soccer career, we played, and it was always cold. It was always wet. It was always natural grass. You always had the long studs. It was just a mess out there. But for us, we weren't the greatest team, but when we played really good teams, it was like the great equalizer, right? We'd play a really good team, and we'd keep it close. But if we played on, a turf field and the conditions were nicer, they'd probably destroy us. How would you classify your team? Like, if the sun was out, it's 70 degrees, you're playing on your home field at Citrus Hill, which is a beautiful stadium, great turf. Are those like the conditions when you guys are at your best? Are you a very technical and skilled team?
Man, we are a technical skill team. We have a lot of great skilled players, but we also have players that play at a high level in club as well, and they play in those grass and you could say ugly fields sometimes, yeah. and those cases where I think my boys are used to that, and if it's rainy or if it's one of those grass fields that you just look at, I think they feed off of that, you could say. Over here in Paris, there's not all turf fields over here in Paris, so I think most of my guys are used to playing in those bad fields or rainy fields or whatever the case. So yeah, we're very technical. We have a lot of talented players in our team, young players, and I'm excited about that. And I think we're ready for any scenario that we're ready. Any that's put in front of us, especially in CIF.
Yeah, because CIF, you never know, right? You might go on the road and play someone at a soccer field who by the end of the season is going to be all tore up, right? If you're playing on a grass field, it could be all tore up. So I was just curious because I know you have a really good team, and usually if the setting is right, a really good team will outshine a bad team if the playing field is all level, because you got a beautiful stadium at Citrus Hill, and Coach, before we let you go, I did want to ask you this as well. So when you look at your team, and I know you guys are still getting healthy and the non-league record already looks great, but what are some things that you feel like you guys can still get better as, through league play? Because, I'm not trying to, downplay what the Mountain Pass might look like this year, but I got a good feeling you guys are going to run through the league and then set yourself up for a good playoff run. But what are, over the next 4 or 5 weeks as you get through league play, what are some things that you feel like the team can still build on and get ready for another CIF run?
First of all, I think we are the favorites in the Mountain Pass League, but however, that just being the favorites, we're going to have an X in our back, and they're going to want to beat us day in, day out. We know that. So the boys definitely know that. The boys always look at the records and stuff like that on max preps, and there's no hiding that. We can't hide that from the boys and us coaching staffs. But we're going to get the best out of all those teams. We know that for sure. And I think we can prove on is just putting the ball in the net more consistently. I think we're not struggling in that, but we're just not clicking on that end. We're like 1 from 5. We're like 1 for 5 in basketball terms, or just kind of our percentages are low. And I think if we bury the chances that we get, I think we'll be in good shape. And again, health will help us with that. Being healthy and some players coming back from Mexico. One of our top players is in Mexico right now, and when he comes back and just overall, when we're full, I think we'll be ready for that, and just hopefully we're ready to go once, and we're clicking once CIF begins.
Coach, it's funny. We talked to quite a few soccer coaches on the show, and I just talked to casually soccer coaches on the side as well. I think that's what they all say. Hey, we just need a couple guys to finish. They all need someone to finish up top. Like, hey, if we start finishing a couple more of those opportunities, we're going to be in good shape. So if you find the secret, I'm sure there's a lot of coaches out there who'd love to know how do you finish all those opportunities.
Right. The good thing is that we're getting those opportunities. As a coach, that's the good thing. That's the start, right? And but it'll be nice to put some of them more consistently away. That'll be a good thing. The good thing for us.
All right, Coach. Finally, last question. So I know you have it's kind of a mild, quiet week for the Citrus Hill soccer team before you guys get to league play. So what is your guilty pleasure on, I don't know if it's Netflix or Disney Plus or HBO Max, but you got some time, your kids are on break, you don't have like grueling practices right now. So if you're going to kick back and you're like, man, for the next 5 hours, I'm just going to plop myself on this couch and just binge watch a show or a movie or a trilogy of movies, whatever it might be. What is your guilty pleasure? I think we all want to know.
Yeah, that's Netflix is what we do over here in my household. Me and my wife, no kids yet, but me and my wife just pick a show and we watch a show or movies, and we just sit back and relax and enjoy our time off. We're both teachers, so it's nice to have this time off and just kind of relax and get ready to go back in next semester. And especially with soccer, it's super busy and just relaxing, watching shows. And I'm weird, man. I watch the same show like 3-4 times. I like, you could say like Breaking Bad, for example. I've watched that show like 2-3 times, and I don't know why. I'll just go ahead and watch it again. Or that's just an example of it. So I'm weird like that. My wife hates it, but I like to rewatch shows a lot. So like Ozark is coming out with another show in January, so I'm starting to watch that again, and just so I could be ready for that.
Well, Coach, if your wife has the controller, what is she putting on?
When I put the show, she just goes to the room and she just kind of does her own thing. So sometimes we watch the same shows and stuff, but when I watch the show, we kind of go to our different TVs.
Yeah, my wife loves the Great British Baking Show, I think it's called. It's one of the food baking shows. She always has it on. So I'm usually like this on my phone while she's watching the cooking. Coach, listen, I appreciate the time. Enjoy your week, because it's going to get real hectic very, very soon now with league play right around the corner, and expecting another deep playoff run from you guys once we get to the playoff season. So, Coach Najar, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Hey, Pep, thank you for having me. I love your show, man. Keep doing big things.
Yes, sir. That's Coach Najar, Citrus Hill Boys Soccer. Join us here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll take one more commercial break. When we come back, we have our Big Boost Play of the Week and our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game. We'll be right back.
We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have, we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for. The number one sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods.
Spins around Knox, feeds Trey Armstrong in the corner. It's up and good. Trey Armstrong from long. Perfect 10-0 start on their home floor this season. Into the post, Stone, nice spin move, and throws it down. What a move by Jelani Stone.
And that was CBU men's basketball. Big win against Division III Laverne, 96-41 last night. And for the Lancers, they are 10-0 on their home floor. They've not lost all season at the CBU Event Center. They were scheduled to be back home again on Saturday to open up Western Athletic Conference play against Seattle University, but Seattle U, with some COVID safety protocols in effect, so they will not make the trip down to Riverside this Saturday. That game has been postponed. They're going to try to make it up at a future date. So right now, at least on the schedule, the next game for the Lancers will be on the road in WAC play at Chicago State a week from Saturday. All right, now let's talk some girls high school water polo. It is our big boost of the week, brought to you by Boost Performance Training. And it was the Elsinore Tigers taking on Chino Hills in the championship match of the San G tournament. And the big boost this week was the big first quarter for Elsinore. They grabbed a 7-1 lead. Jasmine Johnson, Ariana Tellez, number 4 right there, leading the way for the Tigers. They raced out to that big lead after the first quarter, and they would put this thing away as they beat Chino Hills for the tournament championship, which was at Redlands High School, 13-3, the final score. So that is our big boost of the week, brought to you by the Elsinore girls water polo team. Congratulations to the Tigers on that San G tournament title. And now also we have our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game this week. And if you're watching this on Wednesday night, you still got time to run out there. Tonight at the Classic at Damien High School, it is Centennial against Etiwanda boys hoops. This is the Platinum Division semifinal. So the Platinum Division is the top division, top teams in one semifinal. We got Centennial against Etiwanda. That's at 7:30. And in the other semifinal, a little bit later tonight, Riverside Poly will take on the host school Damien. The winners of those two semifinals will get together for the championship game. So the Classic at Damien, one of the top high school tournaments in all of Southern California, easy. And we've got some of our local teams, like we just mentioned, Riverside Poly, and of course Centennial taking on Etiwanda, two of the top teams in the entire state of California. So that's our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game this week. That is a great boys basketball contest. All right, big shout out to our director, Johnny Nunez, here at Teen Vision TV 16. My name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in to our final show of 2021. I hope 2022 is even better for all of us. So stay safe out there. God bless you, and we will see you next Wednesday for another episode of your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.